Parang si daddy rin yung reason kung bakit ako na-discover siguro.
Thieves who steal together.
Allegedly.
Totoo naman, pag may pera ka, kasalanan mo na yon. It's a mortal sin if you have money and you're ugly. Yung mga talagang mayayaman, the elite, may generational wealth, it's usually a novel thing for them to really get into a jeepney. But iba kasi yung context pag alam mo na yung pera na ginagamit ay dahil ninakaw
Allegedly.
sa kaban ng bayan. How can you continue living in the Philippines seeing all of this year in, year out and not feel moved? Simple living. Public officials and employees and their families shall lead modest lives appropriate to their positions and income. They shall not indulge in extravagant and ostentatious display of wealth in any form.
So we're gonna pick up my car.
So thank you, Daddy.
I would like to thank my dad for being my never-ending ATM machine.
Tanggap lang kayo ng tanggap. Let's not let this die down. Right now, Claudine is suffering from anxiety and depression. Is she, in fact, innocent? How old is she? Hindi ba niya alam kung saan nanggagaling yung pera ng family niya? Paano yung tumatakbo, yung kumpanya ng tatay niya? Do not use or weaponize the mental health card to get away from this.
After being crowned Miss Manila, Kc Halili was poised to take her place among her pageant friends and colleagues. But rather than chasing crowns abroad, she walked away from the runway and stepped into a different arena. Kc Halili traded the glitz of pageantry for the rigor of medicine, swapping high heels for hospital scrubs and photo shoots for public service. She holds a Master of Science in Sexual and Reproductive Medicine from the University of South Wales and completed postgraduate training at Yale University. Credentials she uses not just in clinics or conferences, but in classrooms, online platforms, and everyday conversations. Today, Dr. Kc Halili is a doctor who loves talking about sex, confidently, publicly, and without shame. For her, sexual health isn't taboo, it's essential. Whether she's posting on TikTok, giving a campus lecture, or speaking to women inside correctional facilities, she breaks down complex issues with clarity and compassion, empowering Filipinos to know their bodies and own their choices. At a time when most avoid these conversations, Kc leans in. Because for her, medicine isn't just about treatment, it's about truth. And she's only just getting started.
Hi, I am never one to support cancel culture, but in the spirit of hating all the Nepo babies of contractors and corrupt politicians, my team here in PGMN told me that we're gonna have some reaction videos of these influencers and Nepo babies. So let's go.
Hi, I'm Camille. Ah, Claudine? No, Camille. Oo nga, Claudine. Camille.
O tapos, ko ka rin, di ba?
Yes, but I'm not related to them. Di ko sila kilala, di ko sila kamag-anak.
Sus, imposible. Ko ka rin eh. DNA, family tree, birth certificate.
Santos ka rin, di ba? Kamag-anak mo si Judy Ann Santos, Vilma Santos, Jose Abad Santos.
I think Camille is one of the people who caught some stray bullets. Kasi hindi po siya yung Nepo baby na actually Nepo baby. Camille is an influencer from long time ago. Isa siya sa mga OG influencer. But she is not Claudine Co. And recently, actually, there's a Daily Tribune article or photo of her that was circulating na sinasabi, Nepo baby Camille Co. found in somewhere. And now she's really mad because, you know, she's asking Daily Tribune to take this down kasi hindi naman siya yung Nepo baby. So this is tantamount to a defamatory case. And honestly, some people were flooding her. I think TikTok, Instagram, and medyo borderline harassment. There's actually, I think this is a thread or a tweet by Camille Co saying, one last time for the people in the back, I am Camille, not Claudine. Spelled with me, C-A-M-I-L-L-E. Also, Google is free. Unlike those people's corruption-funded shopping sprees. So guys, get your Nepo babies right.
Parang si daddy rin yung reason kung bakit ako na-discover siguro. Kasi wala, nung ginawa ko yung house tour video, doon na nag-grow yung channel ko. And that's when I went home nung July. So, ayun. Parang
So, ito po yung totoong Claudine Co.
Tid ko, nalulula na ako kasi I'm currently at the shops. Ay, ayan. First na nahuli ko, si Deech at si G. Bumili ako guys nung parang maraming crystal sa isang box para magbedazzle tayo ng stuff pag-uwi ng Pilipinas. It's really pretty. As in, natatawa nga ako kasi paglabas namin ng museum, alam niyo yung mga mag-asawa dito, mga asawa nilang lalaki, napapaupo na lang tsaka napapa-scratch ng head kasi syempre alam nilang mabubudol yung mga asawa nilang babae.
Kami rin po nabudol at napapa-scratch ng head.
And kaya rin na sobrang daming chairs dito para siguro may tambayan yung mga husband nila. She's so funny. Well, girls will be girls.
Girls will be girls, Nepo babies will be Nepo babies, I guess. So she's buying a lot of Swarovski to bedazzle stuff. So kung kayo, labubus ang kinokollect nyo, she's on Swarovskis, guys. Do better.
So we're gonna pick up my car.
Wait, ito ba yung viral na first car niya is like a G-Wagon? Or is this just like one of the cars? But, you know, a G-Wagon is a guy's dream car. And on Instagram, a lot of yung mga lifestyle influencers na housewives, parang ito yung dream car, di ba? You know, you're a Pilates mom, you're a matcha girly in your G-Wagon. So, I think, achieve niya.
Si Jules din nagka-crave ng pink berry. Ako din. So, isa pang agenda yun.
Oh, this boyfriend supposedly is also a son of a contractor, right? There's true love in corruption.
Allegedly.
Thieves who steal together.
Allegedly.
Baka naman inggit lang ako kasi syempre hindi ko pa afford ang G-Wagon and ano ko rin to, dream as a frustrated housewife. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking business class seats if you can afford it, right? And once you go business class, you can never really go back kasi the comfort is miles apart from coach. But what I noticed is those who usually grew up taking business class would never post. Definitely never post every single trip in their business class seat. So maybe she did not grow up with this money, or maybe we're just really comfortable with flaunting it. Oh, so the dad is a municipal councilor na ngayon is a vice mayor. I didn't think councilors made that much money. Well, I guess I'm wrong. Kasi binabato lang ang pera.
Flawless victory.
Galing kaming Lululemon. Magkano tayo? Magkano? 30K? HKD? Naka 30K HKD kami. Magkano yun sa peso? Naka 210,000. Ay, naka 250K kami. In peso. Ang dami kong binili.
Hindi, 30,000. 80 eh. Magkano 7.7 ngayon ako? Hindi ko lang 240. Ako. Grabe. Ito lang yun?
Bakit parang shock siya dun sa ginastos niya? Eh siya naman yung namili ng mga damit. Na parang, siya, bothered. Inaaway daw siya ng pamilya niya dahil ang dami niyang binili. Ngayon, girl, buong Pilipinas na. Overachiever ka. By the way, you know, we don't hate on all Nepo babies. There are some Nepo babies of real rich businessmen who earn their money. And it's not their fault that they were born in the circumstances that they were in. But I think there is a line where the responsibility and accountability starts. So next.
The audacity to be unbothered. Anong episode kaya sila mamamatay? You guys are so cruel. A hot topic, there's this ongoing flood control corruption issue that's happening in our country. I am 100% aware of that. You guys are dragging me into it and flooding my comments with hate, saying that the money that I use every single day is yours because it's the taxes that you guys pay. Put me in this list of so-called anak ng mayayaman na politiko. Tell me how do I sleep every day? Living this lavish lifestyle, knowing the money that I use to sustain my lifestyle is stolen from the Filipino people. First of all, we aren't politicians. Yes, my family has history in politics, but then that was long, long time ago. Second, we aren't contractors, so we don't handle any flood control projects or actually even any government infrastructure projects. Third, our livelihood is private. So if you guys are saying business reveal naman dyan, our business is manpower and trucking services, so it doesn't involve the government at all.
Okay, una sa lahat, so bakit nga ba siya nasa list? Kung manpower and trucking nga yung business nila. Baka there was a really glitch, or maybe, eventually, people of the internet, do your job. Let us know, bakit nga ba siya nasa list? And yung sinasabi niya dito na may mga parang, ill words of wishing them death and all that. I know I saw a lot of threads saying na this is not libel, or this is not hate, and this is not just cancel culture, it's asking for accountability. Pero, I guess we should draw the line. Wag naman siguro tayong mag-death threats.
Why don't you find a job and work hard so you can live a comfortable life?
Just because I go to school and Enderon? What do you think you can't afford Enderon? Don't go to school
Oh, now I get it. Kasi I've seen this. A lot of people were talking about yung may mga influencers or Nepo babies nga na sinabi, why don't you just work hard? And even if it's not Mia, if maybe she isn't a Nepo baby. Girl, I know you're rich, you come from a privileged background, but there are people who, no matter how hard they work, the system built on corruption has already beaten them down. Whatever they do, they can never reach the comfort that you're living. Isa pang palaban. The surname Alonte is very familiar. I think marami sa kanila talaga are in politics. This reel was made in such bad taste. It's very cringe. And they're all kids, right? So you could just think of what kind of mentality these kids have na they don't think they are to blame. First off, tapos yung sabi pa nila, Dance, if may mga bashers kayong nagbabayad daw ng tax tapos ending, palamunin lang pala sa bahay. Okay, so I get it. There are some people, who are on their phones and, tambay, may nagpapakain sa kanilang iba. Pero yung pamilya ng mga palamunin na yon, they're also paying taxes. We all pay VAT in anything that we buy. I have friends who are Nepo babies, children from political families. I've also dated one, and they're not like this. I think this is very out of touch. You know what's bothersome here too is, if it was just Angela Alonte doing this, baka siya lang yun. Pero if it's, I don't know, cousins niya ba to, mga kaibigan niya to, or mga kapatid niya to, I don't know. But if it's an entire family thinking the same way, I guess this is a failure of their parents. And maybe a failure of the educational system because hindi napamulat yung mata nila sa kung anong nangyayari sa mga taong naghihirap sa bansa natin.
Are your thoughts about political dynasties here in the Philippines? Paano ba yan? Nasa political dynasty yung pamilya ko. Ay, controversial.
At least she's proud.
Stop for a minute and smile. Why is everybody so serious? Acting so damn mysterious. Got shades on your eyes and your heels so high that you can't even have a good time. Everybody look to the left. Everybody look to the right. Can you feel that? Yeah, we're paying with love tonight. It's not about the
Well, I guess, Jella, it is actually about the money that your family stole and have been using and benefiting from.
Allegedly.
Siguro meron lang din talaga sa kanila na they don't find anything wrong with what they're doing. And doon na lang natin matatanong ano ba mentality ng mga to? Saan ba nag-aaral tong mga to? Yung mga teachers nito, meron bang tinuturo sa kanila? Nagko-community immersion ba tong mga to? Dahil lumabas ka lang naman ng konti, di ba? Makikita mo, may mga naghihirap sa lansangan. And every year may baha sa atin. Every year may mga nasasalanta.
Kala ko eme-eme lang na ang papangit ng mga anak ng frog na to. Not until napuno yung feed ko ng mga sugapang mga ilang Nepo babies na to. Lalo na yung isa na mukhang patay gutom na lagi naka-high waist. Ang papangit nga talaga nila, no? Kung ako may ganung klaseng pera, yung nagnanakaw naman na ako, 'di ba? So, susulitin ko na. Magpapaganda na ako, rhinoplasty, aayusin ko na yung style ng damit ko, hindi ako naka-highway sa 2025. Na mong paray gutom kang balyena kang hayop ka. 'Di ba? Eh di sana, kahit magdanakaw yung pamilya nyo, maganda naman kayo. Hindi yung papaan ka tsaka kayo.
I do not condone using bad words. You know, that's very unladylike. But sino yung tinutukoy niya? And bago natin puntahan kung sino ba yung tinutukoy niya. Totoo naman, pag may pera ka, kasalanan mo na yon. It's a mortal sin if you have money and you're ugly.
Share that we have a new car. Oh my God! Sobrang kilig ko kasi this car is gifted to me by my dad and wala lang, hindi ko lang in-expect na in this lifetime magkakaroon tayo ng ganitong car. Like, wala kasi ako, basta hindi ko ma-explain. Basta thank you, Daddy.
Baka hindi dapat si Daddy ang sinithank. Dapat nga daw, sabi dito, thank you taxpayers, dapat yan.
This is Jammy Cruz and I'm here to share with you my top 5 favorite designer items.
Firstly, can I just say, she kind of looks sweet. She's like soft-spoken.
So, I'm starting with my absolute favorite item from my collection. This is the Chanel mini rectangular flap in Pearl Crush in my favorite color. I think I got it nung time na hindi pa sobrang taas ng prices ng Chanel. So, still pa siya when I got it. And this is a bag that I've used over and over and over again. And sobrang ROI ko na to.
Jammy, ma'am, if you're also interested, we also have designer semaglutide. We have Ozempic. So if you ever need a supplier, we can help you with that. Now, this video makes more sense to me. It's funnier. Don't give high-waist shorts a bad rep. Okay?
Ilang Nepo babies na to.
Yes,
Lalo
ma'am.
na
Yes,
yung isa,
ma'am.
yung patay gutom na lagi naka-high waist.
We support this message.
And lastly, I would like to thank my dad for always being there and for being my never-ending ATM machine. Love you, Dad!
I just want to commend the netizens for finding all these old clips. You know, she's one of the OG vloggers, influencers. Wow, unlimited ATM. Sana all. Kaya pala ang mahal-mahal lahat ng custom stocks natin. Na ultimo yung mga second hand and hand-me-down na damit ng mga balikbayan boxes, kailangan pang i-tax. And
Okay, let's pack for my birthday trip to Saudi Arabia.
see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you see the glow up of Vern from that first, you know, ATM video to now?
Love you, Dad!
That's how Nepo babies do Nepo baby right. Because kung gagamitin nyo na lang rin naman yung pera namin.
Allegedly.
Pero pag nakita namin na sinusuot nyo yung mga damit namin, matutuwa kami and we'll actually feel inspired to work harder, you know, to fund your lifestyle.
Love you, Dad!
In all fairness, if walang social media at hindi na uso ang pagiging lifestyle content creator, we wouldn't even know of these people and how much they're spending our money. So I think in a way, okay na rin because parang, you know, they called it upon themselves. And there's actually one thread post na parang sabi, believe it or not, ang laki ng influence ni Heart sa mga Nepo baby. Remember, Heart made me buy this. Because I think, was that around the pandemic or even before the pandemic na, you know, Heart was posting na kung ano-anong lifestyle, luxurious things na binibili niya. She would paint on the Hermes bag. She would use yung parang, yung mga mahal na gamit, gagamitin niya on, you know, pang grocery or whatever. And a lot of people were using the hashtag, you know, Heart made me do this or Heart made me buy this. Yeah, so an example dyan, di ba, yung nilagyan niya ng Hermes scarf, yung dog niya. And eventually, we saw more people buying their pet designer items. And you know, Heart is also considered a Nepo baby. A Nepo wag. You don't know what wag is. Wife and girlfriends. But of course, please don't come at me. I know she has very passionate fans and they believe and truly believe na, you know, because she has built her reputation na she's old rich, she's an ong pao ko, she has a lot of endorsements, and I'm pretty sure she also really made so much money as a child star and before marrying our Senate president. But I don't think the level of her spending is commensurate to how much she is actually earning. But also, the ownership of PGMN knows Hart personally. They grew up together, and he knows that Hart and Cheese has an agreement that they will really keep their money separate. And maybe that's why up until now, or at least before, Senator Cheese was known to be the poorest senator. A lot of people say Cheese is never the same since he became governor of Sorsogon. I also know that people are saying, bakit si Hart hindi naman siya gaya ng ibang celebrities na nasa list of top taxpayers? Because there's also one OG Nepo baby, Miss Chris Aquino, was an OG Nepo baby. Nakakaloka! And she also loved designer items. But she has always, and she was consistent in the top taxpayers list for multiple years. Pero bakit Hart daw is not even there? So of course, people who are fans and friends of Hart have also come na, to her defense na, syempre, ang daming ang gastos, di ba? Because she spends so much in the fashion week, flights, production, and all that. And, it's her job to look that way na, kasi if you compute, technically, your income minus your expenses will be the taxable income. So, due to the math, apparently, that justifies kaya bakit wala si Hart in the top taxpayers list. Kayo na pong bahala. Or baka meron tayong masisipag na netizens who could actually, compute all of the things that we see Hart has worn and has bought, if it's really commensurate, right, to how much she might be really earning with all the brand endorsements. Brand endorsements locally, I am not really sure if she gets paid when she's abroad in the fashion week. If in fact, Miss Hart Evangelista is paying her taxes well, and maybe this is her own money and this is not taxpayer money, according to Republic Act 6713, an act establishing a code of conduct and ethical standards for public officials and employees to uphold the same time-honored principle of public office, being a public trust, granting incentives and rewards for exemplary service, enumerating prohibited acts and transactions, and providing penalties for violators thereof, and for other purposes. So this is a code of conduct for public officials and employees. And in a provision here, simple living, public officials and employees and their families shall lead modest lives appropriate to their positions and income. They shall not indulge in extravagant and ostentatious display of wealth in any form. So even if it might be her own hard-earned money as the wife of a politician, the Senate president at that, this lavish and ostentatious display of wealth and luxury is a violation to this Republic Act. Pero, of course, I know people would say, it's her job eh. Kayo na po ang humusga. Anything before we end? There's a post that was going viral about Claudine Co's best friend posting and urging people to stop bashing her because she has had a mental breakdown. Parang, guys, please, let's spare Claudine. She doesn't know nor is she involved in the ghost project. She's innocent and such a beautiful soul to be dragged into this issue. We get it, galit kayo kasi kala nyo tax money yung winawaldas niya. But no, she's a hardworking girl and I know that. Right now, Claudine is suffering from anxiety and depression. Well, I'm pretty sure everyone has a beautiful soul. Hindi naman magkakaroon ng friend ang mga tao kung they're completely, horrible. But the thing about this is, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, is she in fact innocent? How old is she? Hindi ba niya alam kung saan nanggagaling yung pera ng family niya? Paano yung tumatakbo yung kumpanya ng tatay niya? And please, do not use or weaponize the mental health card to get away from this. Don't use mental health as if it's this generation's wheelchair and neck brace. Because there are regular Filipino citizens who are hardworking, na taon-taon nalulubog sa baha at kahit bumabaha, they have to go to work. Have you seen the videos? Nung isang araw lang, like last week, umulan lang ng konti, bumaha sa Taft, bumaha sa Quezon City. And then there's also this Nepo baby.
Oh my God. First time mo na.
Honestly, usually it's funny, di ba? Foreigners would come to the Philippines, they'll ride the jeepney, it's like a cultural experience. Yung mga talagang mayayaman, the elite, may generational wealth, it's usually a novel thing for them to really get into a jeepney. But iba kasi yung context pag alam mo na yung pera na ginagamit at kaya never nakasakay ng jeep itong tao or batang to ay dahil ninakaw sa kaban ng bayan.
Allegedly.
Like, girl, try mo kaya mag-jeep pagka umuulan, papasok ka ng school or papasok ka ng work. Because I personally, when I was a med student and an intern, kahit baha sa Espanya, pag duty namin, we have to show up in the hospital. Kami yung lulusong sa baha because we need to serve the hospital and the community, ang mga pasyente namin. And Just one. Ang dami dyan na at least ako as a doctor, 36 hours na ako nasa ospital pagkatapos kong lumusong. Pero yung mga every 8 hours, every 9 hours, balikan, uuwi. Try mo, girl. Mahaba pa ang tag-ulan. So segue, to anyone who's watching, ngayon tag-ulan, please tip your Rev Rider. Ito honest, hardworking people. Kahit gaano ka hardworking pa sila, they can never taste, kahit yung isang dinner nyo, na diba, ano nga ba yung joke or meme? They spent 749,000 pesos for one dinner. Never nila mahahawakan yun. Yung presyo nung isang Hermes or Chanel bag ninyo, itong rider na to, nalubog na yung bike niya para lang makapag-deliver ng pagkain at kumita ng pera. Never niya mararanasang humawak ng ganong kalaking pera. Meron pang isang video nung mamang magtataho. How can you continue living in the Philippines, seeing all of this year in, year out, and not feel moved and realize there is something wrong? I am all for capitalism. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm all for earning money. But at what point does greed end na sasabihin mo, I think enough naman na to? And you as children, at what point na do you get to question your parents? Or maybe you don't question them at all because you're benefiting and they give you everything. Kaya tanggap lang kayo ng tanggap. And I know some of them would say, you know, nagcha-charity naman sila, nagdo-donate naman sila. But that's just like a one-time thing every year, maybe. Twice a year at most. Yung hirap ng mamamayang Pilipino dahil sa ninanakaw ninyo na pera na dapat makakatulong na gumanda ang buhay nila, araw-araw yun. Araw-araw silang naghihirap. And I hope you realize that sa susunod na mag-shopping spree kayo. And to the netizens, flood control projects, this DPWH scandal that we're seeing now is just the tip of the iceberg. Continue to be vigilant. Continue using your voices, any platform that you think you can. Talk about it in the office. Talk about it within your friends. You are influencers amongst your circle. Let's not let this die down. Maybe this is the time na we can really shake up and change the system. We should demand better from our government. And we should demand better also from the families of those who work in government, because there is a law in the Constitution that actually asks of them, right? Because they should not betray the public trust. And to our DPWH princesses and Nepo babies, maybe it's high time that you introspect, maybe go out of your comfort zones, of your gilded mansions, and really see what's happening in this country and start holding your parents accountable. Thank you for joining me in looking in all these reels, as chronically online as we all are. I am Dr.Kc Halili, and we are proudly PGMN.